So now you join me in part 2 of the Remy Brandy Cognac experience. And the first video I road tested the St Remy Brandies. Now I'm going to be switching my attention to this Remy Martin. There's a couple of little bottles here of cognac. This Remy Martin VSOP cognac really does have a tough act to follow, because at $58 US, it is $30 more expensive than the sister brand St Remy VSOP Brandy. In this video, I'm going to be tasting all 3 of the Remy cognacs. I'm going to be giving you my opinions of how different or how they compare to the sister brand St Remy Brandy. Hello brandy lover, welcome back to the channel. But if you are new around these parts, then hello and welcome. My name is Steve the Barman, and right here on my black channel I talk about all things brandy, whether it's grape based, apple based, fruit based, you name it. If it's classed at brandy, we will be attacking it at some point in the not too distant future. So if that sounds like fun, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But if you want to check out my 5 other YouTube channels, then they will all be linked in the description below. So hopefully you've now watched part 1 of this, where I've gone through the 2 St Remy Brandies and I've talked about the difference between St Remy Brandy and St Remy Martin Cognacs. Hopefully you're kind of there. Now it is the cognac's turn. These are much more expensive, hence I've only got little bottles of these, because you know it's just ridiculous to get this. I mean, even this is a VSOP here in the UK, let alone in the US, is quite an expensive thing. This, for most of us here in the UK, would be instantly recognizable as probably the biggest premium upgrade of a brandy, of a cognac, in most pubs or bars when you go out, especially from the 90s to 2000s, 2010s. I dare say, as brands have invested more in markets and gone like that, I dare say you might see more Hennessy, you might XOs, you might see more Martell and things like this. But very much Remy Martin VSOP has dominated the premium kind of step up, if you like. But price wise, I've got these listed down here, and these should convert straight away into US. As I mentioned in the previous video, when it comes to brandy and cognac, you are not going to see too much difference between the two, because at the end of the day, France and Europe, we are shipping over to the US. Yes, we have got a high tax band here in the UK, so there will be some slight adjustments to make, but at the end of the day, they haven't got to pay all the shipping costs to get it over to the US, where, you know, we're just a channel tunnel. So you've got that to play with. So VSOP, Remy Martin VSOP, we're looking at $58 US, 46 pounds, give or take. So that's a big step up. That's playing up there in all of those Pierre Ferrand territories. They're all loosely around that price, and you could argue that none of them are down at VS level. They all are VSOP and XO. So it's kind of a decent price point in that respect. Now to go up, we've got the 1738 Accord Royale, which, if you were going to buy a big bottle of this would be $80 US and 64 English pounds. But then we've got the beast, and I'm really looking, to be fair, I'm looking forward to cracking that. I can't think of a time where I've ever had Remy Martin XO. I might have done. I can't think of a time. I generally can't think of a time. And this was the headline to the previous video. $220 US for a full-size 70 CL, or 175 English pounds. 175 pounds. That is, I don't even know how much that cost me. I completely forgot now, but that is a lot of money. Is it worth it? Is that XO so much better than the St Remy XO? So the one thing I noticed straight away, the colour is so much richer, so much darker than the previous 2. Now, obviously, the VSOP, you know, is it? You know, when you're looking about years old, we should be talking, you know, in excess of 4 years old. You know, the colour difference between the St Remy VSOP and the Remy Martin VSOP is huge. This looks like it's been in a barrel a lot longer. However, we do know that certain brands, the same as rum, the same as whiskey, the same as that, will use some form of caramel colouring. I'm not saying flavouring, I'm not saying sweetness, but a caramel colouring agent to maybe darken it up and maybe get a consistency. At the end of the day, there's a lot of this stuff being sold in it because it's not sold in batches. It has to remain consistent. So you have to get over the fact that some brandies and rums and whiskies and all that might be colour adjusted because they have to. Because if you pick this up and it was that colour in August and then went for another bottle of this in December and it was that colour, you'd be like, well, that's not the same stuff. So consumers, we are conditioned to want exactly the same product in 2022 compared to 2016 compared to 2024, same color. So get over that sort of thing. Ignore the sort of whether it has been colored added to it. We're going on taste and we're going on smell. Now, on the aroma, this is very interesting for me because I do get a nod to, actually, I'm going to retract what I was going to say. I was going to say I do get a nod to that peachy, apricot-y, honey vibe going on. But actually, what I probably get more is appley. I probably get more, I'm really struggling for this. It's not there in your face. It's really dialed back. Do I mistake this for a grape brandy or an apple brandy? No, it's not remotely close to being an apple brandy. You would tell that this is grapes distilled wine, like more unctuous wine. That's kind of the profile that you're getting from this. I would say it's got oh, here we go. We're getting a bit fancy now. It's got a delicate bouquet, kind of floralish aromas going to it, but nothing really stands out in your face. I would say, even though I was saying that this is delicate and this is floral, the aromas off this are much more in your face than what this is on the VSOP. And I don't think I could give you much else on this. It's distilled, unctuous, robust wine, apple notes, and a slight nod to honey peach. I think that's all I'm getting. Right, let's have a little dive in. Whew. Instantly. I mean, let's not make any bones about it. That's delicious. That is really good. Instantly more robust, more hard work than that. Now, I don't mean hard work in a bad way, but that's more hard work than the St Remy XO. There's a lot more body to it. There's a lot more flavour. There's a lot more layers going. It's still going now. The finish is still going now. The finish is definitely lengthens out into woody oak barrels, French Limousin casks. It definitely lengthens out into that. I still don't get woody tannin bites around my tongue or anything like that. The first wave is fruitiness. I'm sticking with that peachy, honeyed peachy vibe. But I would say that goes quite quickly. I would say that sort of lengthens out into out and out grape brandy. It's at that moment where you have it in your mouth for a couple of seconds and then you just open it out and let it swallow. It's that moment where all the flavour just bursts out and then it's kind of gone. You know, I've lost the fruit. Literally milliseconds, you get this fruity burst and then it just lengthens out into grape brandy. I kind of like this. Now, my comparison so far, I'm going with the Pierre France behind me, and I'm going to be honest at this stage, I don't think, I enjoy this. This is really nice, but I don't think they're at Pierre France levels. Definitely the two cheaper ones in that range, the sort of the Ombre and the 1840, I think I'm much preferring those for characteristics and for fruitiness. But this, I would probably gauge this more for the neat sippers, definitely. I think actually this has probably got a bit more character on it than what those have. But I prefer those, if I think at this precise moment. So now we're going up a notch just slightly to the Remy Martin 1738 Accord Royale or Royal Accord. What's it called? Accord Royale. $80 US and 64 English pounds. So, you know, £20 more. Where are we? Best part, just say $20, £20 more than the VSOP. On the nose, totally different to the VSOP. One of the aromas that I really want to pick out on this, I've got, so this oak and a barrel aging, definitely barrel aging that comes through. That's definitely prominent there. But the fruitiness is not light. It's not stone. Well, I'm going to contradict myself here. It's not stone fruity vibes in the way that I would go peach or apricot or something like that. Plum, plumminess. As soon as I smelt that, I love my plum jam, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. Plum jam. That's unmistakable for this plumminess, if you like. And you know what? I think that oakiness probably goes into a little bit of toffee as well. There's that. It's that sort of crossover I'm getting to sort of slightly or longer aged rums. That sort of toffee, not bitter toffee. I get a lot of bitter toffee with rum. With this, I kind of get more. I don't know what the word is. Like just a lighter toffee. And I think just kind of hit me then. Probably a little hint of fig, plum, oak, toffee. That's the ballpark for this. And then, do you know what? Just as I was about to drink that, I got this hint of toast. I don't know how, like toast, like bread, toast. Just this very that I could, do you know what? Fig jam or plum jam on toast. That's what that is. That's like, I wouldn't say bready note, but like a lightly, not heavy, not like dark brown toast. That's wrong. But like lightly toasted bread, toast, proper toast, where the butter just nicely melts in. Right, let's dive in. Oh wow! Now, in a completely different way to those St Remy's, that is gorgeous, and that is for me head and shoulders above that VSOP. Head and shoulders. There's a little bit of fruit in there. Oh God, that could easily become a neat sipper for me. The flavour profile that this takes me on into is like a butterscotchy chocolate kind of vibe. This is just gorgeous. There's no other flavour profiles coming off there. It's grape, juicy grape at the base of it, but butterscotch and chocolate, delicious. Now, so far, before I dive into the beast, use cases for this. Now, instantly, straight away, I'm still going back to the sidecar cocktail is the brandy version of the daiquiri, if you like. It's not. There's slight variances, but that's how I would equate it. And I would still much prefer to have that St Remy VSOP. But if it came to rum fashions and the julep and other cocktails that we haven't come onto yet, I would potentially go this one. This is definitely in a brandy fashioned, 100%. That's my favourite so far. You know full well that that's going to stand out in a brandy fashioned. Maybe even some chocolate bitter. Oh, cherry. Oh, you could play about with so many different bitters in here. My instant head was like chocolate bitters, but actually I might want to complement. I've got plum bitters as well. I might want to complement all that. Oh, that could be fascinating. That could be a great play about. I think the question is, are you going to spend that much on a cocktail brandy, cocktail cognac? But from tasting these neat, I'm thinking that this one is definitely the one so far that's suited to those richer cocktails. Now, $220 US, 175 English pounds. This has got to be a phenomenal cognac brandy. It has to be. For that price, it just has to be. Now, I'm not adverse to paying that much for a bottle of cognac, an XO, because I really do like some of my XOs. I really do. But even that is possibly the most expensive XO, core branded XOs that I've come across. So this has got to be a step above, because even Courvoisier, you're talking 60, 70 pounds, like 70, 80 US dollars more than the Courvoisier XO. So, you know, we have got to be there. Now, how do XOs differ in price? We can take the brandy out of the equation because I've discussed that. But don't forget, an XO is a minimum of 10 years old. So a cheaper XO might just have a lot more 10, 12-year-old cognacs in there blended together. Whereas a more expensive XO might have a little bit of 10-year-old in there, but actually might have 14, 16, 18-year-olds. So there is, you know, you don't compare XOs on price, compare XOs of actually what the DNA of it is coming up. Now, there's one thing I've noticed as I've gone up here, the ranks, they're just getting darker and darker. Even if I started at St Remy, you know, to go up, there's no way in the world you're going to appreciate that colour. I don't think you are, but it's just a whole different thing going on, and that's going up. You know, as a whole, the XO is completely darker, a lot darker to the 1738, which again is a lot darker to the VSOP. Now you would expect that because I've spent time in the barrel. I'm delaying. Right, let's dive in. Oh wow. Oh wow, that smells absolutely insane. Now this is going to be a totally bonkers comparison, totally bonkers, but that is the closest one of those three to that honeyed, peachy, apricot-y, flowery, floraliness. You can tell this has got a lot more age into it. The oakiness is there, but the fruitiness that comes off that smells stunning, absolutely stunning. I really don't want this to disappoint on a taste. I really want this to be worth every single one of those $220. Right, I can't put it off anymore. Here we go. This little sip's probably $25. Let's go. Wow. Oh wow. I'm gonna save a bit so I can do like an XO comparison in a few months, the big brands. But oh wow, where do we go from this? So robust, concentrated wine at the base of it. Let's not forget that. Distilled grape juice. You know, let's not forget that. Plumminess, figginess, orange, orangey. If you bit into the zest, the skin of an orange, but if it was juicy. Orange bitters. That's kind of the flavour profile there. Butterscotchy, toffee. Oh, that is a whole mixture of fruity, lighty, floraliness with that heavily barrel aged. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. On the second tasting, I'm probably getting a little bit of spice coming out actually. Bacon, I use that a little bit in Runwell. Bacon spices. Probably a nod to gingerbread, maybe. Chocolate is coming back at me now. So, as soon as I do that with my tongue around my gums, the chocolatiness comes back. But then as soon as you stop that, the oranginess comes back. Like the bitter, juicy. It sounds a juicy, bitter orange, if that makes sense. Wow, that is good. That is seriously good stuff. So look, to sum up these two videos, is that $220, is that $190 better than that St Remy XO? Look, make no bones about it, that is still a really, really nice, easygoing brandy cognac. It is. I am totally happy drinking that. In fact, I wouldn't think twice of it. In fact, I can quite easily see myself most nights going for a little tot of that. But there ain't no mistaking, that is vastly superior quality to what that is. But is it worth that money? Because actually, where I would possibly go for a neat sipping experience is probably that one. The 1738 Royal Accord. That is absolutely lovely, absolutely delicious. It's budget friendly-ish. Yes, it's still quite expensive. But I think it does loosely take you up to that XO territory without breaking the bank. And this would be the interesting one to me, compare with Hennessy XO and Cavazier XO and Martell XO. That would be the interesting comparison. because I suspect that might perform quite well. So look, these are the St Remy Brandies are amazing finds. I really do like them, but they are much lighter, and that'll be the reason. If you're following me for my rum journey, that's the reason. What I talk about in rum, what I like, that's the reason I like these. These are lighter, these are cleaner, these are fresher. But where I differ from rum in brandy is that I really do like the longer age stuff, because it ain't even remotely close to wet, soggy wood like some of the rums are from Barbados and Jamaica and all those places, Guyana. If cash was no object, I would totally point you on to that XO. Totally, that's such a stunning liquid. But I think my brandy, my cognac, out of the 5 has to be that 1738 Royal Accord. It knocks spots off the Remy. I probably wouldn't even restock that. I would go the Remy XO with some Remy XO over the Remy Martin VSOP all day long. Yes, that is more aged, there's more body to it, it's more robust. Yes, I get it, but if you're in that market, I would just urge you just to spend a little bit more and pick up that.